Hey everyone, I'm gonna do the little dance of start of streams where I mute myself in the playback video before it kills my brain. Thanks for joining. Give me 2 seconds to make sure we're live. And I'm sure there's a way to mute before it starts. There it is, it popped up. All right. So, welcome to the stream. Shout out to ThinkMill, 10-year anniversary t-shirt. First time I'm wearing it, I received it a while ago, but yeah. Apologies for the... I don't even know what you hear, but it's super hot. As you can see, I'm sweaty. I've got all the windows open. I've got the fan on. It's summer, it's humid. It's terrible, and I have to wear a shirt to do this stream. Well, I don't have to, but you know. So the audio might be a little bit damaged from that. Also, as soon as I tweeted the link, people started mowing the lawn, but right now they have stopped, so we'll see how it goes. I will try to stay close to the mic so it sounds pretty good. Let me know in the comments. If need be, I will try to use this little app called Crisp AI, which kind of isolates your voice and removes the background noise, which is pretty cool. Hello, Podobaika. I love your content. Thank you so much for joining. I don't know how many people have joined, but hi, thanks for joining. I haven't prepared anything for this stream. I do want it to be unstructured, and we're going to use experimental software. So Keystatic itself is not experimental, but the MDX field is still in experimental under a flag called __ experimental. And what I want to do is, let me switch to the app sharing screen. As the wind knocks off. You can see it's a fake, where is it? Fake plants, but real wind coming through that window. Yeah, it's organic coding, I guess. So I'm gonna switch to app share. Here I am. And so you can see all I've done, I've literally made sure I was on the latest on main, and I've created a new branch called, I forgot how I called it. I can hear the lawnmower starting again, so let me know if it's disturbing. Yeah, so I've created this Keystatic MDX branch. I haven't done anything else. I haven't touched my website in a long time. I don't know exactly how long. Let me start the server. Just before I started the stream, I just verified this because I didn't want to start the stream with like node modules or ESM modules problems. So the site is here. And that's my website that's currently live. Welcome everyone, Fernando and Martin, thanks for joining. I will try to look at the comments actively. I want to stream much more regularly, do stuff on Tailwind CSS, on Keystatic, on content in general. Summer has been very long and hot, and kids at home, and really makes it hard to be a YouTuber and a streamer. But kids are back in school now. It's still hot, but summer is slowly gonna taper off. So this year I'm intending to do a lot more content between Epic Web with Kenzie Dodds, and between my own stuff and between ThinkMill stuff with Keystatic. You should see plenty of streams from me. Let me know how... I don't know what you hear. What I hear is buzzing lawnmower behind me. I'm sure you can hear a bit of it. I've put a bit of copyright-free stream music to cover it, and... Oh, music is leveled up. Very good feedback. So I'll make it even louder just to demo up. I've put a little bit of background music to try to hide all the... It's just a mask over the background noise. But I'll put it even lower. I don't even know. But is that okay? I hope it's okay. I can't even hear it now, so I'll if needs be, I'll put it even lower. Maybe my feedback sound is not right. So, last time I've worked on this website, I've added these 3, I remember, I don't know when it was, but that's the last PR that I did, is add these 3 fancy little emojis. They're not called emojis, they're called icons, SVG icons. So this website runs on Astro, like it says down here, and Tailwind. and I have all these content types. They're sort of like categories because they're really all very similar. My God, the lawn mowing is loud. So if I look, another terrible thing is my last post was in 2018, so it's 5 years ago now. As the heat has just cranked up, if you have been in Australia in January, February, you possibly know it's humid and hot, and it's, what time is it? It's 10 a.m. here, 10:20, and I felt the heat just unlock the next level. Just should be fun. All right. So this is a blog post. It's using MDX, and there's a few custom components like images. Some of them have an embedded video. Ooh, look at this, champions. So if we look at the code, I told you it was unstructured, but I promise you we'll get somewhere. If we look at the code here in SRC, it's an Astro site, and I think I use content collections. Yeah. So we've got articles, talks, and screencasts, which really are basically all the same. Also, in terms of code shaming, this is my website, my personal site. I never have proper time to work on it, so it's like usually on evenings, on weekends, or like it's just my playground. There's a lot of messy stuff, but this is what personal sites are for. Right. So let me just move that window here. Yeah. So if I look at a article like this one we just looked at, you can see that there's intro text and caption. So it's an MDX file. There's the front matter, and then we have these custom blocks that is then used like here or where else? Yeah, that's a caption image. Although that could just be a normal image. We'll see. But what I want to do, so this website does not use Keystatic at all, and I want to add Keystatic. Side comment, a course on how you approach design in Tailwind would be great. Shameless plug, this is sort of the content I'm doing with Epic Web on Kentidot's platform. I'm going to teach Tailwind CSS, but very much in a design first mentality approach, and how to make developers better at design, but also how to make designers dabble into coding, like this union sort of cross-functional area, which I love Tailwind for. So, tell you what, I'm sure this is still enjoyable. Well, I hope it's enjoyable, but I'm really struggling between the heat and the lawn mowing and all the stuff happening behind me. But this is what I need to get better at. Chaos. Let me crank up the mic so you can hear behind me just for fun. This is the classic. I sat here this morning, it was nice and fresh because it's a bit cloudy. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna stream, perfect. Let's stream, it's a beautiful calm day. And I send the link and straight away the more start. Karma. Music is still okay, I'm gonna get rid of the music completely. Sorry about that. I thought that was gonna add some... and if you still hear the music, then I'm very confused because I just turned it completely down. Can someone in the comments let me know if you still hear the music? Because I literally took the slider completely off. So if you still hear it, that means that it's... Oh! No, I can see it here. Okay, I think I know what's happening. The feedback monitoring is... okay, I'll do this. Like that. And then... I think I was regulating the volume of the music for me, but not what I'm sending to you. And I've just done the opposite. I've reduced the Ecamm Live streaming thing, the output of system audio, and I've cranked it up a bit for me so I can actually hear it. All right, this is now a live stream about music volumes and streaming. I think I've worked it out, and I'll see what you guys said. So, okay, we're going to implement. Music is gone. Okay, yeah. So I know the stream is like 15 seconds ahead, but I think I've worked it out. We're going to do turn these MDX files. Well, we're going to keep them as MDX files, but we're going to allow Keystatic to control the content of them. So I can still edit my copy here if I want, but I can also, if I don't feel like going into the code, I can use the admin UI from Keystatic. So it's pretty cool because the content sits, you can see there's the slug and then an index file. We'll work out how to do the images, but there's a slug and then index file. So we basically going to configure Keystatic to know where to look to find src content, articles, slug, and then the index.mdx file, and it should work. From my previous experiments with the experimental MDX field, it should work really nicely. Pardon me. So let's switch gears, and I'm going to show you what it takes to add. So there's no Keystatic at all here, ever added. I'm going to show you if I go to keystatic.com and I search for add Astro, what it takes to add Keystatic to an Astro project. I'm bothered by the music again. I found a copyright-free playlist. It's supposed to be really minimal, chill, lo-fi, but this wasn't. So, out of all the flavors of Keystatic, we have apps for React. What am I saying? For Next.js. What am I saying? Yes, we have for Next.js, Remix, and Astro. And Astro is actually the much simplest way to get set up, just because they have this fantastic extensions plugin sort of like ecosystem. And so you'll see that all we need to do is just add a Keystatic thing to the Astro config and it's done. So I've got the project. I'm going to add React and MarkDoc. Actually, we're not going to use MarkDoc, we're going to use MDX. So in my Astro config, I'm going to add React and MDX, but I already have MDX in place, I'm pretty sure, because we have MDX files. So let's look at the Astro config. And you can see I have MDX extension here, but not the React. And we need React because Keystatic is a React app and it's going to run as pages embedded inside the Astro project. So let me stop the server and we're going to go npx astro add React. What? npm, oh no, come on. npx, oh not npx, sorry. npx astro add React, and this is really nice. It's going to ask me, hey, are you okay with this? This is the changes I'm going to make in your config file. Am I allowed to do this? It's a really nice experience adding Astro extensions. You can see it tells me I have to add this package and then I'm going to add it here to your array. Can I do this? Yes, please do it. I also have to do this. Can I do this? Yes, do it. Done. So now if I go back to, well, it's up here. Let me close the, you can see what happened is React from Astro has been added to our integrations array. And now we're going to do the same with the Keystatic integration that the Keystatic team has built. So I'm going to add two packages, Keystatic core, which is common to all flavors, and then the Astro package. So npm install both of these. Let me know if you have questions. I know I started a bit sloppy with all the lawn mowing and stuff, but we should get into the weeds now. Hopefully not the weeds, but like the good flowers, native flowers. I gotta thank you for the music, so hopefully what I've done has been working. I'm sorry about I can imagine if it was full level, that wasn't great. So, I've installed the two Keystatic packages. It's a third-party integration. It's not an Astro native one that does the mod for the config file, so we're going to do it manually. So what I'm going to do here is import the Keystatic, we can call it Keystatic Astro if you want. So this is the integration provided by our Keystatic Astro package. And just like every other under the sun here, I will add Keystatic Astro in my array and hit save. So with that, believe it or not, we should already have a Keystatic admin UI. And it will do nothing because we haven't configured a config file. And you can see that's the next step. Oh yes, it would not work just yet because we have to change the output mode to hybrid. But actually, if I show you what happens, npm run dev, so if I start the server now, it's not going to be very happy with the fact that we have forgotten that, but it's telling us hey. So if you make that mistake, no big deal, it's going to tell you you should probably do this. And so the way you do it is another key in the config, output hybrid. And you can see there's the three options. If you are going server, you would have to have all your front-end pages that don't need SSR to opt out with like pre-render equals false. We're gonna do the opposite. We do hybrid, which by default is not SSR. And then you can opt in. And so only on the Astro routes, the pre-render is set to true. So you don't have to change anything if you were just building a static site. So now, if I rerun npm run dev, this time that should work. Let me create a bit of space here by removing all these panels. And let's go look at our website, which is supposed to be here. So the website still works normally, but if I try to visit the Keystatic route, it's not going to be happy because we don't have a config file. So I lied, you don't have the admin UI until you create a config file, which makes sense because you can't use Keystatic without a config. So let's go do this. Back in my document project tree, we have a few config files. You can put the Keystatic config where you want. I do like to put it with other root level configs, but you can have it in SRC, wherever you want. Actually, no, scratch that with the Astro config. You cannot. It has to be at the root level because currently it's looking for it just there. So I'll do a new file called keystatic.config.ts, and actually I will call it tsx straight away because when we do the MDX stuff, we might have some preview components. Yeah, we might, yeah. Basically, if you call it TSX, it allows you to write JSX and little React components in the config file, which we probably want to do. So I will import the config. This is now when we get into the groove. From @Keystatic, not Astro, but core. And the minimal setup that we need is to export default a config. Not what? Config. Okay, and TypeScript here is going to be our friend. You can see there's a few things optional, but it needs at least a storage strategy. If you know nothing about Keystatic, the storage strategy lets you define where you want to store the content. And the main options, there's three options. It's locally on your machine, which I'll choose now. And then there's on GitHub directly, or cloud, which is a hosted solution that the Keystatic team provides. So, kind, you can see that here is going to come with these three things that I've said. I'll choose local just because it's the quickest way to work on your local file system. And I think this is the minimal setup. Uh-oh, dog's going, what's going on? probably barking at the lawnmowers to complete the picture. So now that I have a config file with nothing, I may have broken the dev server before. No, I haven't. Have I? I'll try restart it. 4321. So let's try to visit 4321/keystatic. Ooh, I know what happens. There's one more thing we need to do. And you know what? I'm trying to YOLO it, but if I was following the actual guide that I wrote, you can see that it tells you to add the -- host here. So if you follow the guide instead of trying to wing it like I do, you will skip all these steps. But it's a good reminder of like where the pain points, what are the things I keep forgetting. So in the package JSON, I just want to, where we have Astro dev, just want to add -- host. And I think I think it works without this 127, but I'll still add it. Okay, so now when it restarts, if I go back to this, I should be able to now open the admin UI. Should I? I forgot the parameter that I'm on the live stream, so I probably should not, because there's always some stuff that happens. Come on. Oh, look at this. It's happening. Boom. Done. End of the stream. Thanks for watching. No, I'm kidding. So we have Keystatic with no content, because we just defined the storage strategy, but no actual content, collections, schemas, etc. Before I do that, I will just change the UI to a little logo and text, because why not? So back in the config file, again, that Command J, Command B. Another key that is completely optional is the UI key, which is fairly new. It's also in the docs if you want to check it out. And basically there's brand, and you can change the sidebar navigation. Excuse me. Here I want to change the brand name. See, Copilot tried to trick me with title, but it's name. And here I'll call that simonswiss.com. So just that change here is going to change the website title here. That's nice. And then you can pass an image or an inline SVG here. And what I'm going to do is just random. I don't know. I don't want to use my avatar or something. So let's just go to lucid.dev and look for a cool icon. What could be a cool icon? Carrot, maybe? Ooh, is there a surfboard? No. Basketball? Ah, come on. Wave. Yeah, let's go like this. I like this. So I will copy the SVG, because JSX is actually a component, I think. Let's try. So if I go mark here, I can pass an inline. See, that's, yeah, that would, well, I could import it and then use it, but instead, let's do what? Let's copy the SVG instead, and I'll have to adjust some class to class name. There's only one. Actually, we don't need that class. We don't want it. Let's save that. There's probably TypeScript is not yelling at me, but it should, because of the camel casing thing here. So it's W. What did I try to be fancy with the multi-line? Okay, so you can see that currently the height and width is set to 24. So it's going to be a little bit big, but it's going to work. If I go back to my Keystatic website, where is it? Here, look at this. We have the waves here. So let me change it. The recommended size is 16 by 16. It's like some ASMR vibe, the lawn mowing background maybe. Right, so now I've got 16 by 16. And we have our little way. It's not the best looking icon, I guess, for a website, but the cool thing is because the fill is set to current color, I can switch to dark mode and it's gonna adapt very nicely. But again, daytime, summer, windows open Australia, I have to go with light mode. Sorry, folks. All right, so we have a custom CMS that does nothing. Let's make it do something. Okay, I had a little heart attack because I thought the music was still an issue. I was like, oh no, I don't know how to work it. But subsequently, this, yeah, okay. So the music is really low. You have a very good point that speeding 1.5 with the music is, I never thought of this. You know what? I've spent too much time on this music. I will stop the music. Let's stop the music completely. I thought that was a cool idea. I saw young Twitch streamers do that. Now you can enjoy the lawnmowers at 1.x speed instead. All right. Let me close the comment and keep going. So, how do I close the comment? Oh no. I can't close the comment. Wait, here. Radio. So, in an ideal world, which is not the case just yet, we would go to config.ts, which is the Astro config for content collection, and we would tell Keystatic, hey, look, there's already a ZOD type definition. You know what collections are here, they define. Please, Keystatic, make the same thing as a Keystatic schema. Or the opposite, where you define a schema in Keystatic like we're about to do, and then tell Astro, hey, here's a Keystatic schema, which is TypeScript. Can you please turn that into a ZOD? You're welcome, Willy. Turns it into a ZOD schema. Unfortunately, we've tried this. It's quite complicated to go in the whole depth of what ZOD can do and what the Keystatic schema can do. So right now we kind of have to duplicate the effort here. So basically we're going to configure these 3 collections in Keystatic. And let's start with the articles, because this is the thing that has the most entries in my website. So if you've just joined the stream, basically we're adding Keystatic to my website, which is built with Astro and MDX, and basically currently I'm raw dogging, editing the MDX files directly, which is, it's not bad, but it's kind of nice to have a CMS even if you're a developer. So I'm going to create these different content types and let Keystatic take over, not take over, enhance the experience. We'll have to do a few changes, but this should be fun. So what I'm gonna do is copy that. We're not gonna use the same, but it's just as a guide for me. And in the Keystatic config, so we've created our UI customizations. We want to create collections now. Collections. And the first collection is going to be articles. I cannot get over how loud the lawnmowers are. I hope I've seen no one complain about it. My music was supposed to be the way to hide it, and that's what everyone noted. So let's go with the mows. So articles is going to be a collection. This collection here that I'm importing now from Keystatic gives all the type auto-completion. Don't go away. So you can see it's been added here, and now it knows exactly what a collection needs. What does it need? A label, schema, a few things. So I'll start a label, and we call that articles. Thank you, Copilot. And the interesting thing, let me open the sidebar here, is we want to tell where this collection live. Because we could create collections and say, go into a content folder and then start from scratch creating the collections. But we want to do here is edit the existing articles, which is in SRC content articles. Ideally, we want Keystatic to we want to tell, hey, this is where the content lives already. Go and make it editable, right? So there's a path key, and basically you define the path from the root, or from actually where the config file, we'll go from the root because the config file is in the root. So we'll say src/content/articles, and then you have this star system that's quite flexible. If I was to go just like this, node.md, it would look for a file called 2018 my year in review dot, and the name of the project of the file. Here we have a folder with an index file inside, and so I have to add a trailing slash. And when I do that, Keystatic knows that it's going to look for the slug, and then slash, because the slug is a folder, and then inside of there it's going to look for an index.mdx file. Actually, it's not right now. It's not right now. Sorry, I was reading comments and I got confused. It's what was I saying? Yes, it's not going to find the files because by default Keystatic looks for markdoc files with the .mdoc extension, and this is where we're going to have to turn this to MDX. So there's a few more fields. Let's go that way. I'll paste the thing that I had here and comment that out. That's what we want to create. So that's going to go in a schema. Yeah, let me move that in there and we can recreate it. But you can see that TypeScript is still very unhappy because some things are missing. One of them is the slug field to tell how do we construct the slug. So because we have a title here, we're going to create the slug field, link it up, connect it to the title field that we're about to create. Now, this is not happy because title doesn't exist yet. But if in our schema we add a title, I'm going to use fields, import it from Keystatic, that slug. And then this has a name. This is a bit weird, but bear with me, label title. So the field slug creates two input fields at one go. I think I can show you that in the admin UI now. We've created our article collection. It's not seeing anything yet because it's looking for markdoc files. But if I add one, you can see you have the slug, the title field is connected to the slug. So if I go, my name is Simon, you can see that it's creating the nice kebab case. Of course, you can change it if you want something else like woof. And if you're like, oh, actually, woof is not a great slug, you can regenerate it. That's how the slug field works. And so we're going to have a description. I think for the description, we can also have a field.text. Oh, field.text, not label. Label will be description. And because it might be 2 or 3 lines, I'll add multi-line. Come on, Copilot. Multi-line true. Ah, I know why Copilot wasn't helping because I put it outside of the config object. So now I've added a description field to... So if you're new to Keystatic, that's why you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like I'm creating a schema and it's creating some fields for me. We need a pub date. Publish date, pub date. So we're going to field that date for this one. It's hard to tell what's what with Copilot and TypeScript, but you can see that TypeScript tells me you need a label and then you can have description, validation, all that. So the minimum you need is a label. And now, surprise, surprise, we've added a date picker field. So that's sort of the data set that each post has in the front matter. But it doesn't include the most important part, which is actually the content of the post. if I look at a file in there, it will have a front matter with the title, description, and pub date. Is there also WYSIWYG? Great question. This is oh, let me move it somewhere you can see. Is there WYSIWYG? There's definitely WYSIWYG, and on steroids. Like, this is where Keystatic really starts shining, and this is what we're gonna do. You can do it with Markdoc, but we're going to do with MDX here. And basically, our WYSIWYG is gonna let us control all that you see in that file. We're going to, all of this is going to be normal Markdown, but then we're gonna have to have custom components that take props to do stuff like custom components that take props. So yes, stay tuned. This is exactly where we're headed. So back to the show. Keystatic config. So we have these. Let me delete these. But we want to also add now the meat and potatoes of that thing, which is, we can call it body. I'll call it content. So the traditional way in Keystatic would be to go fields dot, and there's this document field, which was the big WYSIWYG content editor with like blocks and stuff. This will be here forever, but it will be replaced, not replaced, it would be an alternative approach will be offered called the markdoc field, fields.markdoc. And the twin brother sister is the field.mdx that we're using now because my site is built with MDX. These will eventually live in fields.mdx like this. But right now you can see TypeScript tell me, no, there's no such thing. Because it's still experimental. So for now, this will change when it's stable. It actually is pretty stable, but it's not, the UI is not great just yet. We have some tweaking to do, but if I go __ experimental, you can see that there's this markdoc fields, the cloud image, and the MDX field. And I'll import this. And look at this, Willy, if you're still here, you're gonna love this. I'm just gonna add the label of content, hit save. That's all it takes. It imported this experimental field, which will live in fields soon. And now, look at what we've got. Oh, hello. Let's have an H2, H3 that says, and this is nice. You can also use Markdown. So if you want an H4, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is an H4. If I go / you can see you have all these blocks, bullet list, code blocks, heading, that's the default. There's a little over the z-index issue here, but this is the sort of stuff we're gonna fix. You can add images, all of this. And you know what? If I hit save now, this is going to work, but it's going to create testing the... No, I said nothing. I will not save this. Now that we've added the MDX content, it will create an MDX file. But right now, if I look at articles, there's still no articles. Whoa! There is still 0 articles. And the reason is, as of like this, Keystatic is right now not looking for an MDX file. It's looking for YAML files. The default behavior in Keystatic, if you don't configure anything, is to have a YAML file that contains all the metadata, like the front matter stuff. And then it's going to create a content file that has the actual content. So it creates 2 separate files. And you know what? I wish I didn't. Yeah, it's still here because, oh, there you go. Nice. We have this draft feature that saved me right now. So I'm going to create a file so to see what happens. Okay, so this is not a problem with Keystatic. This is actually Astro's content collection saying, hey, you've got YAML files, which are data entries, and then content files, and you should not do this. So we're doing something with Keystatic that Astro doesn't like, but it's not a problem per se. But let's look in our SRC content articles. And how did I call? Yeah, my name is Simon here. You can see that's the article we just created. So like I said, there's an index.yaml file, which has, oh, I forgot to choose a date, but it created our front matter. And then the actual markdoc or markdown MDX has been created in a separate file. So this is very useful in certain situations. But the thing I really love about Keystatic is it's super flexible. You can tell where each collection should go, if it should be in a folder or in its own file. And then we'll switch this to say, no, 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 no. I want you to take that stuff and I want you to make an MDX file and I want you to have a front matter like that and call it index.mdx. So let me delete that demo entry, and with one more config thing here, which is called format, I will say I would like a content field. Content field basically says one of these fields down there is the content field and put everything else above it as front matter. And so we'll call it content because it's matched that. But if this was called cat, we would put cat here. With that tiny change, when I hit save, it's not completely going to work now. But if I go to dashboard, there's now, look at this, 5 entries. What? Look at this. Now Keystatic can see, because it knows to look for an index.mdx file inside src/content/the slug. And so now it has worked out everything that exists on the file system. If I go in there, it's still not going to work because we have some fields that are not matching. I wasn't expecting the description one to be a problem, but we'll work through these. The really cool part is we already now have worked out where the files come from and what their slugs are, which means that it finds the index.mdx for each. All right, so let's work out what this array key on object value description is not allowed. So this is on the React app 0 config, but on all other files as well. So if I go React app 0 config, the description field here, why is it not allowed? I bet you it's because I made a typo in my description field and it's called description or something. Keystatic config and then you go description. So this is actually description. So that error was here telling me, hey, I'm not finding a description field in your schema because, well, there wasn't one. It was called description. But now when I save this, we're going to move to the next error. This is, for me, great because it means it's not a front matter issue. This is now, we need to improve this error. But this, what it's telling me is there's custom MDX blocks that it doesn't know because we haven't configured them, doesn't know what to do. So let's go into that post, that file, React app 0 config. And I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to remove the imports. Basically, what it's complaining about is the YouTube video. If I delete this and I delete the intro text, don't worry, we'll bring them back. And I also delete the imports. Now when I save, the page should work just fine. There you go. I think there's only a problem with the publish date because of the format. It's not like an ISO date string. We can work that out. But you can see today Facebook developers have open source. And I could change. I don't want to change it because I deleted stuff. But essentially, we want to add support for the intro text and the YouTube video. Let's bring them back. And we're going to work our way. The first thing that you need to know, because Keystatic is statically analyzing the content, so it doesn't deal with imports and exports and dynamic stuff. So you cannot in your MDX file have imported components. Luckily for us, let me delete these two. So it's called intro text and YouTube video. Yeah. If I delete that, well, now it's not only have I broken Keystatic, but I've also broken the front end probably. If I go look at the React 0 config, it's going to say, hey, what? I don't know intro text because I haven't imported it. Luckily for us, Astro's content component, which is the renderer for the MDX, allows you to pass components. And if you pass them through that, then there's no need to import them in the file. And this is now working much closer to what Markdoc or Markdown would work without imports. So we're going to go find, tell me if you have questions. I know it's a bit confusing, but that's the limitation of a tool like Keystatic is it's going to work with MDX files, but it's not going to handle imports and export. It's just think of Markdoc or Markdown, which is completely static, and then it's just the syntax that turns into a MDX syntax, but you cannot have imports there because of just the way it statically analyzes the content. So we're going to pass the intro text and the YouTube video to the page component. So I haven't touched this side in a bit, so I forgot how things work, but if I go in articles, there should be that should be the hub page for articles. So we don't have to, let's worry about the slug page for now. So here somewhere there will be a content. Yes, that's the thing that Astro uses to generate or render MDX. And the cool thing is where we use that, which is somewhere down there, here. Look at this. We can, I thought TypeScript would help me. You can pass components here. And we want to pass intro text and YouTube video. I think it's how it's called. So of course it's like, what are you talking about? I don't know what these files are. But if we go and import them, so this comes from components and then YouTube video and intro text. Text pretty. That's that's the thing I added recently that wraps the text really nicely to avoid orphans. So let's go up here and I will import YouTube video and I will import intro text. What's happening with TinyTime? Why aren't you happy? Oh, don't worry about this. So I've imported YouTube video, and obviously I've called it YouTube video. So instead of importing our components in the MDX file, we import them in the template where we render the MDX, and then we pass it along for the ride here. Oh, side quests. So now that I've done this, you can see that the thing works again. The front end works again, yeah? The YouTube video component is working, and so is the intro text that has this fancy font. So we've solved a huge problem, which is we don't need imports anywhere anymore. So now we can go and implement. This is like the key. I don't know how many people on the stream now, but this is probably the most important. Oh, 10 people, that's good. This is the most interesting part, is how do you create components that match what you need. So let's do a little side quest to something called docsmil.dev, and I'll search for Keystatic. Since there's no documentation at all on what we're going to use now, I'm going to show you how I learn it and how you can learn it too. So docsmil is an amazing website where you can search any npm package and get all the type definitions and documentation. So what we are using here, what we're going to use is a new content component concept, and they're situated here. Content components. They're very cool. There's a bunch of them, and they're much more powerful than if you used Keystatic before. We had these component blocks, which were great, but they were a bit complicated to customize. So now the new MDX and MarkDoc fields use something else that's called content components. And there's wrapper, block, inline, mark, which is super cool if you want to do some text highlighting, and repeating for, let's say, an image gallery where you want to just add more items to a repeating list. And these are the different building blocks that let you compose, honestly, almost any UI or structure, content structure you can think of. Think of something like Craft CMS matrix block or Sanity's portable text. This is very similar in that regard, which is super cool. So a block is basically a block level component that doesn't have children. So a good example of that is the YouTube video component. It's going to take its block level, it's a div with like an iframe and stuff. It doesn't have children, it just has props. And so that's a block. Where something like the intro text, you can see that there's an opening and closing tag, and then some content inside, some children. And this is what's called a wrapper component. So you wrap it, and then you have content inside of it. So basically, we're going to create a block content component for the YouTube video, and then create a wrapper component for the intro text. Let's start with the YouTube video. It takes one prop, which is the ID, which is the video ID. So if I go in my Keystatic config, you can see that we have defined the content MDX experimental field. We're going to start creating custom blocks, and think like Notion, where you can create a callout or a toggle list, or think like, what is it called? Atlassian's a Confluence, where you can have all these smart inline and block components that you can do. This is what you can do with this. So it's called components. And here opens a whole new world. What? Which it just makes up stuff. I mean, the wrapper is sort of. So we're gonna have components. The first we want, and you have to name this component just like it's going to appear in the MDX file. So we want to literally create a component called YouTube video with the same casing. And this is going to be one of the block types that we've seen here. So block inline. And the YouTube video, remember, doesn't have children, so we're going to use block. And actually, I can go here and see what a block component config looks like. This is what we're working with. It's awesome. You can see that there's a preview, all sorts of stuff. So we're going to use block. That needs to be imported from core content components. Bear with me, there's a little bit of setup, but actually it's basically, once you know how to do it, it's very intuitive. So it needs a label like everything else. YouTube, well, no, I don't want that. I don't want to. Yes, that's what I want, just a label. There's a fine line with Copilot and making educational content and jumping ahead too quick. So it needs a label and a schema. That's it. I mean, you can do much more. You can have a custom icon, custom description in the drop-down, as you'll see. But basically, at the bare minimum, we want an ID, which is a string. That's the prop you would pass to that, yeah? And if I look at my YouTube video component, the interface is like an ID with a string, and then that ID is passed in the iframe. So let's do just that. ID, fields, and you have access to all the Keystatic fields here. No different than if you were doing a schema somewhere else. And we want a text with the label video ID. That's it. I've created a YouTube component. So now I can go in my so you can see we had two problems because there was two custom fields, and now we only have one problem left, which is great. And if I go in that file here and I just delete that intro text for now, well, that should work. Now you can see we have this YouTube video, and that's what I meant by it's experimental, it's stable, but the UI will change. We're working on making this more useful. You can change the preview, as I'll show you. I'll actually embed the video in here, but you can also edit the field set. We just have a string video ID. So this is already functional, yeah? Let me show you how you take it to the next level by adding a preview. Back in docs.mil, let me close that page. We don't really need to see it anymore. You can see we've added the label. You can add description, icon, schema, and then you have this content view, which is basically a React component that displays what you want. So let's do that because it's quite easy and fun. If you have questions, ask along. Content view. So we'll have literally a React component. And okay, if you work with React, well, you work with React. If the video component was a React component, we could literally import it and pass the component here. But here, because it's Astro components, they're not exactly the same. We can't just import the YouTube video component and pass it here. So what we'll do instead, we'll just grab the iframe here. Basically, we're gonna recreate it. So we receive the props here, like any good React component, and we will pass the iframe. So now you will see something that we're working on that doesn't work just yet. So this should be props.value.id. And this is changed to class name. So when I save this, I know for a fact, because I love Tailwind, these are Tailwind classes. They are not, Tailwind is not loaded in actual Keystatic admin UI. So the styling is not going to work like we imagine. But nevertheless, we still have the default iframe preview. It's just not applying the styles. We're working actually, I was talking with Jed last week, and Jed is also pretty interested in allowing Tailwind because of how ubiquitous Tailwind is as a styling solution. You don't have to use it if you don't want, but there's a chance that someone say, oh, I can use Tailwind, cool, I'll build my custom UIs in the admin UI with Tailwind. So turns out we might add support for Tailwind. You can also import Tailwind yourself, although because it's using the Keystatic extension and it's generating that page automatically, I'm not sure exactly how you would do this. If you create the page manually, then you can, well, you decide what goes in. Anyway, I think it's pretty cool. This is useful. You still edit it through there. And just to prove you that it's real, if I go to youtube.com, oh, hello, Lee. So we're going to take Lee Robinson's video. I'm going to copy just the ID, which is that bit. Delete that page. And now I'm going to change that. We should switch to Lee Rob here. So it's not just like a image that fakes it, it's the real thing. All right, I don't want to change to make that change, so I will reset the changes back to where they were. Okay, any questions? If not, I'm going to reintroduce the other error by bringing back the intro text. So now again, it's like, hey, I don't know what to do with intro text. And now you should be able to tell me what we're going to do. I've given you all the ingredients. We're going to use the wrapper component because it has children. And you can see that the wrapper component schema has children as well. Sorry, I'm looking here, but it's, yeah. You can see that it has the concept of having children. So, well, let's go create it. This is our YouTube video, label, schema, content view. We're gonna make another one, call it intro text. This time it's going to be a wrapper component. The label will be intro text. The schema will be nothing. Why do I say nothing? Because what you have in the schema here would be passed as props on the actual opening tag of the wrapper. So if you had an ID on this intro text, if you had something like this, size equals 2XL, this is where you would create a schema for a size prop. In our case, it's just a bare bones open close wrapper, and then it injects the children inside of it. So the schema, you still need a schema, but it's an empty schema. This is the schema set that we want. If I don't have this, it's going to tell me, hey, you need a schema. What am I doing? Trust me, it's going to say that. I don't know, I'm still showing you because I told you property schema is missing. Right. So, well, I think that should solve the problem. And look at this. Now we have this intro text with the content here. You can edit it inline, or you can, no, you edit inline because there's no, the edit model is only when you have fields. If there was a schema with an ID, you would edit it here with the edit button. But because all it is here is children, you just edit it like this. And look, inside there, I could, either with the slash or the drop down, I could have a YouTube video inside my intro text. Yeah? I actually do not want that. But a wrapper can have anything inside. So with that, I can bring back the, no, intro text is here, it's there. So I don't think these are the only two components we have, but these were the only two for the React posts. So let's go through and see what we're missing. React is working. The way to test the implementation is basically go through all posts and you'll see that you'll discover other fields that you haven't done. So if I go in very first screencast, there's 2 of them. Let's go start with one that has only 1. So I would love if the error actually told me the name of the component. That's something we'll change. But for now, let's go and work out what it is. So full rewrite in 10 days with tachyons. I'll go find this file here. And let's work out what's, you know what? It might be just the import actually. If I remove the import, are you happy? Haha, yes. All right. So my next task is to go remove all the imports, and maybe that's when we'll see that there's one that hasn't been created. I feel like this one will have more components. Yeah, caption image. So see here, I can remove the intro text, but we need to import the caption image, and also we can't have this image. I don't even know how they export it to be used as somewhere else, I guess. Anyway, this is going to be a little bit more work for this file. But let's get all of the other posts working first. There's the caption image here as well. I'm not sure the caption image is a great component because because it could be just an image, yeah. And this one is good. Okay, so the next thing we need to tackle is this caption image, unfortunately. Any questions? I feel like I'm talking to myself, but I'm sure there's people either watching later or now. Let me drink a tiny bit of water, and so let me, while I drink water, open the caption image component. Okay, so there's a string out and class. So why is it not just an image field? Also, this is using the Astro image tools, which is still a thing, but now Astro has the assets thing. We should probably change. You know what? I don't want to mix too many concerns, so I'll just recreate the component how it is now, instead of trying to modernize everything. So we stay focused on Keystatic and MDX blocks. So we're going to create a caption image component that has 3 fields, and we haven't even talked about required optional. Most fields in Keystatic are optional by default, but you can add a validation object with required either length or true, false, src, alt, and class. I'll copy that. So we call it caption image in there, so we're going to create this exact. They will be mowing all day because there is a lot of grass behind me. I don't know. It's too, the exposure is too big, but there's a lot of grass. So let's create a caption image. I know you can hear it because I can see the waveform in my mic just going crazy. Caption image. What is it? Good question. Show me a caption image. Would you like to mow inside the mow this tree next to me while you're at? Jesus. See, you didn't want music, now you've got that music. Not that it would have covered it. So the caption image. Okay, it's here. Ah, well, that's interesting. It's a wrapper. It's a wrapper component because the caption kind of comes as the children. Oh my god. Should I close the window? No, I'm not giving in. Is this the good time to try Crisp AI? Let's try Crisp AI and you can tell me. Crisp speaker. I don't know, I need to open the widget. Go away. Crisp? Where is the widget? Yes, noise came. Oh my god. I am in the call. Ugh. See, like it's. I like. Yeah, oh my god, it was here all along. Cancel noise. On. It's on. Why not used? Dude, I am live streaming. That is not a call. I have to be on Zoom or something that is perceived as a call before Crisp turns on. Can't you just turn on? Okay, I need to find a good noise can. As you can see, creating content in Australia in summer is just messed up. The rest of the year is awesome, but this is tough. So I need to find a solution for live. No, because if I close the windows, it's freaking hot, and if I put the fan, it's freaking loud. Can't win. All right, let's go through the pain. You can go through the pain with me as support. So the caption image, as I was saying, it's gonna have a wrapper with children, but also a schema with SRC and alt. Again, I think we should do a different component, which is just a normal image. But I can't. The microphone is amplifying that more. It's doing my head in. Okay, so caption image, SRC and alt, and then children. So Keystatic config caption image is a wrapper because it has children. The label is caption image, and the schema is that. Well, not that, but there's SRC and then alt. SRC, which is field. What do? Do we upload an image? Okay, oh, actually, we need, because we want it to work with the existing setup. So if I look at a post that has a, yeah, like this. So the image is inside the same folder. Okay, so fields.image. I think that's all it needs. The image field, you can specify a directory if you want to output it somewhere completely else, like in the assets for Astro folder or in public or something like this. But here, I think we actually want the image collocated with the post. My only problem is I think that this image is going to be called src.jpg. And I don't know if I can call it wardrobe both. We'll see. The alt tag is fields.text label alt. And it had an optional class. Do I want to add? No, I don't want to add this. Yes, I do. Fields.text label class. Hey, the tree just fell on me. Whoa. Alright. We got no more tree. The wind has decided to add to the chaos. I wanted chaos, I'm having it. I haven't seen any comments in a long time, so I don't know if I bored everyone or if the stream is actually not streaming. No, I'm seeing a YouTube stream. It's streaming. And it says, I don't know. I'll keep going. Someone might watch that later. Say hello in the comments if you're still there. So I've got these three fields. To be specific here, you should go validation is required true, which I was talking about later. And here too for the alt tag validation. I don't know if I love this, but there's no is required. There is a min length property for this text string with a min and max. So if you go min 1, basically you need at least one character, which kind of makes the field required. Okay. So we've created a caption image, which means, hey, someone's there. Which means that I think we fixed all of our problems. If I go to articles, nope, this one still has some. I think it's the image export thing. Okay, so let's go in my very first screencast. It does not know what to do with something in the post. The post is my very first screencast, which is this one. Let's, I'm sure the exports also are bothering, yeah. Oh no, that was not my very first screencast. If I remove the import, I think there's still a problem with the export. So we're exporting that image. I'm probably going to break things by removing it, because the caption image is looking for, what is it looking for? Yeah, okay, it's looking for that import. So unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna work like this, because the image field, it could be a file reference maybe. The image field is going to want a string, a path. So yeah, that's not, we're gonna have to do a little bit of transformation to our MDX. And I think now it's complaining because of that wardrobe. It's like, dude, I don't know what that wardrobe is. Let's just have an empty string here. That'll break that image, but that should fix the editing. So if I scroll down, now we have this intro text. YouTube video embed, and somewhere there's the caption image with the, so the caption and everything worked. Just the image itself here hasn't been found because we've deleted it. But let's try to find it. I'm just gonna open my file system, which is always terrifying. All right, before you can see all my crazy stuff, let's go to sites, simonswiss.com, and let's go find that file. It's in src, content, articles, my very first screencast, that. Look at this. Let's use that. I literally created a recording booth by zipping two hoodies together and in a little closet. And that's how I did my first screencast many years ago. So you can see there's the alt tag, which is required because it's one character minimum. And here you can pass some Tailwind classes to change the styling. We could probably change the content view to display the image as well, I guess. Why don't we try that? But first, let me try to save that. And see if we've broken everything. Articles, very first screencast. Caption image needs to be defined. You forgot to import pass. Oh yeah, we've created it, but we haven't passed it. You can see that I was talking earlier, that's imports that you can't do, but you can pass it. Good point. Good job. So if I go to that page here, you might remember that we've passed the intro text and YouTube video. We can also pass the caption text. Why can't you find it? Can you find it? Probably not. Let's go here. Caption text from. Why did I duplicate this one? It'll find it. Import caption text. Is that? It's probably not that. Import caption text from components / caption image. Why caption text? Oh, because I had intro text in my head. Caption image. Did I call it caption? No, I called it caption text down there. Caption image. Input file context and the supported image format. Looks great. Ooh, does this, great question. Look at this. Does this work as GitHub storage? Yes. Yeah, everything works. The if you by this you mean the MDX and everything, yes, the answer is yes. The only difference is when you work with GitHub, you constantly have to pull the content back into your repo if you work locally. So with the sort of stuff I'm doing now with like removing imports and changing stuff, it'll be really painful. But yes, change storage to GitHub, it'll work exactly the same. Literally the storage doesn't change anything to how Keystatic works. It just, instead of looking in your file system, it's going to pull it from the GitHub remote every time. So yes, the answer. So unsupported image format. What you mean? All right, so let's see if we get stuck here. Where's my admin UI? Oh, it's here. Both of them are borked. So let's go in Keystatic, collections, articles, my very first screencast. It's here. And we have our image. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know what's going on. I know what's going on and I can explain. Let's back out of here. So if I go to the front end, it's like I don't know the format. And the reason is, if we look at what has been saved in our my very first podcast, screencast. Oh, it's an empty string, so it. So it did not save, in fact. Yeah, it's not saving because it's not happy with something. It's probably because we changed that and it doesn't. Okay. I'm gonna copy that caption, and I'm going to. It's called wardrobe recording booth. The alt tag. I'm gonna delete that, and it comes just before I received some good feedback on this setup. So we basically killed it from the. I don't want the restore draft. Reset changes to what the file is. Okay, so now we've removed the caption image, and I'm going to find the I received good feedback here. So I'm gonna recreate, look at this, / caption image. And you can see that it doesn't have an icon and a description, but these are fields you can add. Yeah, rich text editors are pretty scary when you work with them. Luckily, Emma is incredible at her work. I don't really touch them. Or if you mean interfacing with them, I'm talking about this comment by Edson. Yeah, I mean, the thing to think of is you create them not for you, the developer, but you create them for non-developers to be able to contribute. Because I promise you, they will say that the VS Code MDX file is scary. Okay, so I've added a caption image. Yeah, I was saying that you can add where am I? You can add the icon and stuff in the settings when you define the blocks. So the alt will be, well, let's choose the image once again. There it is. And then, yes, I know, sorry. Wardrobe recording booth. And done. And then for the caption, I'll paste what I had saved. So now, did it save? I feel like it's not saving for some reason. What have I broken? Stroke width, but that's not gonna break the. Actually, I had fixed that. Is my caption image still there? Caption image. It's there. The image is there. Okay. So maybe it did save. And I'm just tripping. My very first wardrobe. No, it did not save it. What's going on? Okay, now we have a problem. Let's try again. We're gonna do a minimal reproduction. We'll add a new test post. And here I will add a caption image. Yes. We will do the same one. Why not? Blah, blah, blah. Done. Caption text. Can I save this? Or create this? Okay, so it created it. And if I go to my test post in articles, I should have a test post here. Yeah, I think something wrong with the component is probably what's happening. So we created a test, and whoa, what's that content? Ah, okay. Yeah, so it created this, but then what is it puts the image in content / wardrobe booth. Okay. So that's, I think that's the problem. It was looking for the, it was looking for this image to be in a / content thing. Or it sees this image and it's like, hey, I see an image, but it's not configured to, you know what? Let's not resist. There might be a better way, but let's try to move that image where Keystatic expects it to be. And I know why it's called content. It is called content because our whole content field is called content. And so when you create an image, it's going to, by default, put it inside / content / the name of the file. So after all, I may have to here to say directory, and I can put the image somewhere else. Do I want to do this? Probably. Do I want to do this now? I don't know. So by default, it's going to put it in. By default, it's going to put it inside the, because we're in the content block here, it's going to put it in / content, like in my test / content, and then the name of the file. You can change that, but you can, I don't know if you can change the name of the actual field. So we're gonna skip this ID there. I think because I've moved that file now in content, it should be happier with it. Let's delete that test entry. And let's go in my very first screencast. Maybe it's, I'm doing something wrong with the draft. I don't know. I've never really used draft mode. Oof. Have I lost it again? Yeah, I've lost it. Why? Did I manually delete it from my very first? Okay, I did. Okay, let's create it one more time. This time it should work. So before this here, / caption image, boom. Arrow, boom. Then we're going to pick the image that is in content. It's weird because I'm uploading it where it already is, but yeah. Wardrobe recording booth. And we'll be done with this. And let's copy from my clipboard. Come on, clipboard. There you go. I had that in my clipboard. And I'm saving this. I feel like it didn't save again. It must be something weird going on. Huh. Bit puzzled. Being puzzled on live stream is never great because debugging skills go down. I think what happened is the rich text editors are scary. This is what's happening right now. Man, what's going on? It looks like it's not saving. And oh my god. It's not saving because it doesn't have a valid publish date. Okay, remember at the start of the yeah, Zing, I think it's how you pronounce your name. I was gonna look for the console logs, but I just found, you can see here, the pub date was not saving. But because it didn't scroll me back to where the error was, I was a bit puzzled. So, I think I know what's going on. If you look at the post, the pub date is like May 3, 2016, but it's expecting that 3rd of May 2016 Americans do the month 05 and then 03. So if I save that, it must be okay. So that's the weird thing. It's not actually, it's a date string. I know that almost every site I convert, I have issues with that, so we might need to work on that. But now, let me refresh. I don't want the, yeah, okay, so the date is here, go away. And so now finally, I can recreate it one more time. This time it's going to work. Caption, image, pick the image, boom, wardrobe, recording booth, done, paste, save. Yes, it's saved. Input file is missing. What are you talking about? I did a refresh and it's working now, and it's going to be here. Watch this. Watch this. There it is. Okay, so maybe cache thing. Let's look at the front end. What happened if I refresh? It's still missing? No, it's working now. Oh my god. It's empty. Articles. DIY recording booth. Huh? Oh no, it's the my very first screencast. Okay, so there's still a problem. Let's see what the caption image looks like. Caption image src wardrobe. Yes. Bruh. I feel like it's looking for wardrobe booth JPG. Let's look at another one that has a caption image. So there's .all. They're not in content. Hey, Bernardo from Manly. I used to live in Manly too. I now live 6 hours north of Manly, up in Coffs Harbour or Woolgoolga. Yeah, Manly is nice. Thanks for joining. I think I've worked out what happens. It actually doesn't go in /content. Well, yes, it goes to /content, but it needs to have the /content path to get there. So, oh, I deleted my test, I think. Damn it. Let's do one more test. I think I'm landing on my feet now. Let's go. Articles. Add article. Yo! Here we're gonna add the caption image with the caption, and we're gonna choose No, I need a different image. I'm sick of this wardrobe. Let's go some basketball champs. Yes. Cool kids. 40-year-old kids. Okay. So when I create this, I go find my new yo post. The SRC here. Well, first of all, let's see if it displays. There's something wrong. It just gets bugging. Let's see if it displays on the front end. Articles. There's my yo article. Undefined Nan. Sorry, Nan. Okay, so I'm doing something wrong, and it's probably obvious. And I'm not thinking about it. It has to. I'm sure it's with the directory or the public path. Okay, let's think rationally. It's going for underscore and the name of the image here that lives inside a content directory. But also, oh my god. Oh my god, yeah, I think the comment you had before about something wrong with the component, I'm pretty sure that the caption image expects an object. No, it's SRC and it's a string. I don't know. Caption image. SRC is a string. That is a great ID, debug mode flag or something. I do like this. Good idea. I'll talk to the team. Can I make it wrap on lines when it's long? Oh yeah, I can. Look at this. SRC is a string. And then it's passing. I feel like it's something with this picture image thing. But we have an SRC which is a string. Yeah. I feel like we do. Because if I compare one that I've done myself, caption image, SRC, underscore leak title, alt, and then that. And if I compare this with one that I did not do, that this one was made with Keystatic, yeah? I'm gonna copy it, and I'm going to paste it next to one that's made directly manually with MDX. So see, the difference is it's a string here, where here it's an object. No, it's a variable, but it's a string. Yeah, okay. So actually it's looking for the whole path. SRC, content, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I think if I... this is the public path it's looking for. I don't know how to do it. Usually I put my images in assets and then they auto import and it's nice. Basically you can set two things. You can set the public path, which is how it reads, which is basically that. But I don't want my public path to use SRC. That seems very silly. Yeah, okay. Because they live in the content thing, but they're not, they need to be imported to be... Okay. I give in. I have to try this assets thing. This might nosedive right there, but let's try this. We've got this. Astro.build. What time is it? Oh, it's almost lunchtime. I'll do that. Hopefully it goes well. Might go very not well. Assets. image, Astro, assets. No, I just images. Where to store images? Yes. SRC, public. The thing is, if you use assets, you need to start using the image component. There's change a lot of things. Local, yes, local file must be important. Astro assets optimized. So the easy solution would be to put them in public and then get it done quickly. Or try the image component and assets that I haven't used in a while. And like I said many times on a stream, no, it's not with the server, it's really with the path where images are output. Okay, you know what? Let's start with public and then we can try the other if we successfully. So I'm gonna show you this. I should have done that from the start, but live and learn, friends. Keystatic config. Check this out. I have my image field here. It has a label, a validation. I'm going to add a directory, and it's going to be. Do I have a public directory? Yeah. It's going to be public /images /articles. So publish images article. We'll put it there. And then it's going to append the name of the slug and then the name of the image that might be called SRC, which is kind of... Anyway, let's try just that first. And we're going to create another test. Bear with me. Actually, we can edit this one. Articles. The image should be gone now because we've changed the path. Let's pick basketball players. And so now I'm expecting this image, regardless of how it's called, to be added to the public directory in public images articles. Yo! Save that. Okay. Now if I go to public, I have an images folder with yo and then leak title here. Nice, it hasn't changed the file name. So the thing now, if I want to display that on the front end, if we look at our yo article, I think I'm back on track now. Watch this. If I go to the yo article, I'll delete this because this is not a thing anymore. It still saved it with just that leak title, yeah? It stored it where I told it to store it with the directory, but it's still just displaying the file name. And as a result, on the front end, the input file is missing because it can't find. This cryptic error is from the Astro image tools. I remember having lots of input file is missing when the file name doesn't match. That's an Astro error display. What I need to do now is configure this to match the public directory. And you can do that with the public path. So whatever you put in public will be accessed with the next directory /images /articles. I don't even know if I need a slash or not at the end. Let's try it without. So nothing is gonna change, but I need to go and save. So the image should it's changed again. And let's add this. Yes. Done. Save. This time, let me check that the image is here. Yep. This time it should be saved in my yo article with the correct path. So you can see images, articles, yo, and then leak title. And as a result, when I go to the front end, it is here with a beautiful undefined nan. So what we've done is we've specified where to store the files and then how to construct the front end's public path to read them correctly. So basically now we're passing the correct path to the public location of the image to the Astro image thing in caption image. And so the SRC here is what's expected and it works correctly. Very nice. So I could, in fact, I could resave all the existing posts, or I could too sneakily try to do it manually. So I'll delete my yo and test because I'm confident I've worked it out. So let's take this one, my very first screencast. It has one caption image. So watch this. I'm gonna take this image. Well, I'm going to copy the name of the slug, which is my very first screencast. I'm going to go to images article, add a new folder with that name. Then I will move the image inside there. Yeah. I will delete that content. I don't know if you're following, but basically I've moved that to where Keystatic expects to find it, and then I will go /src/ no, /images/ articles / my very first screencast. And I don't know why I do it manually, it's just to show you that it's Keystatic works. It really reads the MDX file and you can write and read it to it. So my very first screencast __ wardrobe.booth.jpg. And now it has the front end path and it's stored where it's defined in the config. I've deleted yo, so it's gone. If I refresh, it's gone. Now let's go the recording booth. No, which one is it? No, it's my very first screencast. And now look at this. The caption image is going to be here with the caption. So obviously doing it manually is not fantastic experience, especially if you have hundreds of posts with hundreds of pages and stuff. So let's, this should be very broken. No, it's not broken because I haven't changed the front end. But there's two images. There's the .all conference and then the basketball. And if we look, I'll do this and then I'll wrap up. If we look in the content, my year in review here, right now, it's doing this export stuff, which Keystatic does not like at all. So if I go here, I'm gonna have this bunch of errors. Yeah. And so I'm going to delete those. But now it's going to say, hey, the thing doesn't exist. So there's that sort of catch-22 where when you migrating content, you might have to manually do stuff as a developer. But the idea is that once it's set up, Keystatic completely is in sync with that. So I don't know if I can trick it in having the wrong image and then change it. Let's see what's the path of least resistance is. This error really doesn't help, does it? MDX flow element. Oh, first of all, the cool kids is a fake one. All right. Oh no, I know why it's still not happy. Is there's another one somewhere up here. .all. Yeah, sorry. So are you happy with the broken path? No, you're not. Damn it. Okay, that sucks. That means that I either have to delete and recreate these. I will copy that in my clipboard. And also copy that in my clipboard. Save it. Oh, I didn't look where they were. Oh my god. Undo, undo. First one is below Andrew Welsh. And second one is before the landed a new job. Alright, so now if I there's something else. Whoa! I'm a master at making streams that end up like nosediving at some point. Is it that again? Alright, so this is 2018/12/27 string. Suspense custom components, good idea. Yeah, the error boundary would be amazing instead of blowing up the whole thing. Good point. Look into it. And also, hi David. Good to hear from you. Yeah, everything's well. Well, except the heat and the noise, but you've missed the start of the stream. It was pretty funny. Everything's going well. There's a lot of background noise because I have all windows open and I'm sweaty. So I'm gonna do one more try to see if the... Okay, oh my god. I'm going to delete these caption images one more time and redo it manually. I guess there's always gonna be, when you make projects, some of them are like smooth sailing where everything works. But as soon as you have import, exports and stuff, which is what we're battling with now, you have to do a little bit of work before it just works. What else are you complaining about? What else is on this page that is an issue? I got the intro text. The pub date is a date. Yeah, so there's... yeah. There must be something in that MDX file. Let me delete everything and save it. Okay, you happy? You can see this sort of... What about from Berlin bound if we delete everything? Happy? Okay. Okay, what about landing a new job? Are you still happy? Ah, you're not. Okay, so the error is between the job and Berlin bound. Maybe it doesn't like holy crap. What is that? What is this dot dot? Oh no, it is the... It's just the end of the italic. Why can't I close the sidebar? Yeah, what? Okay, VS Code doesn't want to close sidebar. Block quote? Is the block code the problem? What? Okay. The block quote doesn't want to... Isn't a block quote... Oh, because it's passed as a component and normally it should be like... That is the block quote syntax in Markdown. And if you go block quote, I guess it needs a special tag. Mate, so okay, the block code is here. But now I've lost my caption images. Damn it. Okay, let's create them manually. So who remembers? One was after Andrew Welsh. But Andrew Welsh is there twice. I was just after this one. So, caption image. And so now I'm gonna make use of my clipboard. Oh, this is not the best way to do it, but well. I've got the whole component pasted here. So I'll copy the alt tag and delete all of this. And then here, copy the alt tag. What? It copied, that's funny, that's the mark doc, although we're in an MDX file. And the image we want to add is the league. No, .o. Yes. Yes. Let me save that before I cry. Okay. What? Ah, okay. So let me go look at the post. And I go my in review. And the .all image should be there. And there it is. Whee! So there's one more, which is the basketball championship, which was just before landed a new job. Obviously, I wouldn't do the changes like this. I would probably find a better way to do it. But with streaming, yeah, that's a very good point. I was expecting, well, no, that's the, I was expecting it to try to pass it as a HTML because it's lowercase. Block quote is an HTML tag. And Markdown supports HTML, so interesting to see that it's maybe that's something that we need to change. Looks like it's like, oh, I don't know this tag, please define it. Where if you have a Markdown or MDX file, you can just write normal HTML and it should work. Good point. Maybe I've done something wrong too. The problem, the chance of the problem being between the keyboard and the software. The keyboard and the chair, sorry, is high. Let's do the last image really quickly. So I'm gonna go in before the landing a new job here. This time I'll use the drop down caption image. Let's select the league title. And let me see. Clipboard. Alright, I'll just open a new file here and prepare my stuff that I need. I need the alt tag and I need the caption. So this is the alt tag that's gonna go here. Something I haven't shown you at all, but what? I was just gonna say the keyboard damn it, what have I done? The keyboard navigation with all this model stuff is exceptional. It's just built it using React Aria, and it's superb. Like, it's really nice. You can do everything is accessible and keyboard navigatable, except the thing I just uncovered here. It's just a styling thing though. So I can paste the. What do I have to do? Oh, I grab this for the caption. I'm gonna save that, and my post should be back now with the. Look at this, it's already refreshed with the image here. So that's just using an image in the public directory, so it's the full scale image, there's no optimization. So the best step here would be to continue and use actual the Astro image from assets and stuff. And I probably will do that next. But if we recap, I'm gonna wrap up here. If we recap what we've done in this stream, first of all, we've added, let's go, not the lock, let's go to package.json. We've done things. We have added Astro React at the start. because Keystatic is a React app and it runs as an Astro page. The most Australian thing, I found a spider on my laptop. Go away. Oh, no, it's gone. We've imported Astro React, and then we've added Keystatic Core and Astro right at the start. And all of this went in our Astro config. You can see the React extension has been, integration has been added here. And then our Keystatic Astro integration has also been added, and we changed the modes to hybrid, so the Keystatic pages can do SSR stuff like they need to use the file system, fs.write, read, all the good stuff to work with the file system with Node APIs. Then we created a config file. Remember, the first thing we've done is set the storage to local so I can work on my file system. But you could change to GitHub or the easiest, if you want to ship this, the easiest is to switch to cloud and then follow the steps to set up a cloud account. Cloud account is free up to 3 users, and then you need to pay a very reasonable amount, and you can have image storage and cool stuff, multiple projects. But here we just work locally, and then I have set up also a custom brand name and fancy little waves SVG, which materialize into this up here. And as you've seen, it works in both light and dark because of the current color for the fill or stroke, one of these. What have I done? Then, okay, this is where everything goes. I've pressed some accidental keyboard stroke and all my stuff is messed up. What? You go there in between? Yeah. Okay, then we after the brand, we set a collection for the articles. Articles, remember, is just one of 3 collections I have in my site. Set the label. We decided to make it read from the SRC content articles, so it could. That's where the existing files were. We set the format to content fields, so we had MDX files thanks to the experimental MDX fields. And then we, because our articles have these fancy custom components like caption image and YouTube video, etc. Keystatic config, we configure a YouTube video block component, an intro text which is a wrapper because it has children content, and a caption image which sent us on the image rabbit hole where basically something was off with how Keystatic was expecting to find the image path and how the MDX was saved. I kind of bailed out of it by making putting the images in the public directory and then creating a public path that matches the how to access that from the front end, and it all started working. So with that, I think I still have to implement. Hang on, have we? This one's working. This one's working. I feel like some of them I might have not ported the images. Let me very quickly check. Sanity check. Articles. First post. I can remove these 2 images because we've put them somewhere else. First post is done. I know that because I just done it. Second post has no images, which is a good sign. Third post, no images. Why are you yellow? Oh, because I have an array, whatever. Fourth post, I've moved the images away. Fifth post, okay, so all the articles are technically done. I can remove that test. So the next steps, maybe in another stream or by myself, all alone, would be to do the screencasts, which I imagine, hey, they have no images. Thank luck. Where's boss? Where's boss? And talks. So basically what I would do here is the same process that we've done for the Keystatic config, is define here screencast, which is a collection label screencast. Come on, Copilot, you know what I want. Do I have to delete and then go colon again, space? Oh my god, that's a bit too much. I didn't mean the whole. Oh my god. Yes. You go like this, and then talks, label, talks. It's not happy because it's missing some fields, so I'll comment these out. Not this one, like that. But basically, I will add these two and make them, if I go in the content collection config file here, that's the exact same field, but the YouTube or the screencasts have an extra thumbnail image. So here, see how it's a string. This is where, with Astro assets, you would actually have an image that you need to import to make it all fancy, and then it gets automatically imported in your front end, which is really cool. That I didn't want to chance on the live stream, but I've used it before and it works great. And so once I do all of this, basically the whole website will be editable in Keystatic, and I can still just raw dog the MDX file if I'm like, oh, I found a typo. Obviously, if someone says, hey, there's a typo in this post, I'm very likely to go and say, all right, thank you. There was 3 eyes. I can just remove 2 and hit save. I'll probably do it like this. But yeah, who knows? Like, it's sometimes if I publish Keystatic on GitHub and then I'm somewhere with my phone and I can't run the site locally and I don't want to, I can just log in and just do something in the CMS like a normal person. This is really nice addition. I don't have plans to add editors to my blog, but if I was, this is where the real power is you create these custom component blocks and editing experiences for people. But because I had an MDX site, I thought that was a really good idea to try. The thing we need to do here is find all the rough edges with Keystatic. So the more practice and implementations I have, one of the rough edge that I keep finding is that thing. Most people using MDX will either have a date format that's different. Sometimes it's the whole. So this one would be 2016. What was it? 13th of May. 2016 05 13. I just realized I'm not sharing my screen. Yes. So the date was like this. Most people using MDX or Markdoc or Markdown rarely have the exact format that Keystatic expects, which is a string like this. Sometimes it's gonna be this TZ00, whatever the full ISO date is, and so we might need to revisit the output of the date field, or have a date string or something like this. That's the sort of edges I'm trying to uncover. Okay, I'm gonna switch back to my face and look at the comments. I see one very interesting by Moni. Mo, hello Mo. Pourquoi MDX et non Markdoc? I'll speak in English so everyone understands. Although I could show off parler en français pour expliquer comment ça marche. Mais Keystatic works with MarkDoc by default. And everyone has been from day one saying why the opposite, why MarkDoc and not MDX. MDX is much more used broadly. If you do a Google search with MDX and MarkDoc, MarkDoc is like a flat line on the zero level on the x-axis, and MDX is way up. The reason we chose MarkDoc is because it's a statically analyzable format. It doesn't have import exports. It's all very predictable, and you can serialize, deserialize it much easier, which makes it a very good content storage, predictable content storage format. MDX has all these imports and exports that, as you've seen in this stream, will not work. Even with the MDX field in Keystatic, you still need to pretend it's all static. And so you need to pass the components instead of importing them in the file. But the reason pourquoi MDX, why MDX, is because everyone's asked for it from day one. I think using MarkDoc only has been slowing Keystatic adoption drastically, because a lot of people look at MarkDoc and they're like, it does, like, I don't know enough about it. Do I want to learn a whole new paradigm? Do I want to change? The real thing is, whether you use MDX or MarkDoc, Keystatic does exactly the same thing. It's just the brackets, the React like angle brackets versus the MarkDoc percent sign. The syntax is different. But if I was to keep the same config and switch to the document field, it would create a MarkDoc file and basically create the same components, but with the MarkDoc syntax. The reason in this stream I'm using MDX is because I have a personal site that uses MDX already. And so I wanted to just try it out and show it. Next question. I hope you understand English, otherwise it's a big waste of time. Peux-tu faire une playlist pour apprendre Keystatic? Watch this. I'm going to share my screen again. The question was, can you please, I'll leave it on the screen, make a playlist to learn Keystatic? If I go to youtube.com/thinkmill or my personal site, sorry, it's @thinkmill. Hey, better. If we go here, look at this. Build a GitHub powered blog with Next.js and Keystatic. So you can remove from your head the word Next.js and use Astro instead, or Remix. It's gonna be incredibly similar. The only difference, the big difference, is the setup. Once it's set up, the Keystatic just does the Keystatic thing, yeah? And so this thing, if I don't want to play it now, but if I go here, it starts, every video is about 1 or 2 minutes long. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3, 3, 1, 3, 4. They're very, very short. They all cover one specific point. It starts from complete scratch and it goes all the way image field stuff that we've done today. I would absolutely recommend going that. If you don't like these switching videos all the time and you want the full video instead, there is the same video, but it's all stitched up in a 90-minute. Why is there 6 videos? That's probably not the actual video. I've made, yeah, this one. An hour, 28 minutes. This is one video with chapters. It's basically all the videos stitched together in one big video. You can see we're deploying Universal at the end, but if you go near the start, it's very, very basic, the slug stuff, and then it just progresses. So that's probably the best way that's definitely my biggest effort at teaching Keystatic so far. So that would be the playlist, literally. The stuff I've been streaming about today, the number one thing to retain, if we go to the config file, is it's experimental. It works, as you've seen, but it is definitely on the bleeding edge side of things. It might change, you might be upset because it's changed and you got production code that runs stuff that changed. But nonetheless, it's coming, it's in the pipeline, and I think it's good to experiment with early. And the next question is perfect. Would you do a boilerplate Keystatic plus Astro plus MarkDoc? It already exists with the CLI and it's amazing. Basically, if you go to keystatic.com, it's great. These welcome these questions because I'm trying to, what am I doing? I'm trying to raise awareness about Keystatic, but the fact that this is not known is a great sign that I need to do it better. There, keystatic.com. Mo, I've lost the stream window. There it is. Keystatic.com. The very first thing you see is npx create at keystatic at latest. If you copy that, let's open a. I'm gonna go in Hyper. Do I have Hyper? Yeah. Let's do a new window, full screen, npm keystatic at latest. It's gonna ask you to choose between 3 frameworks next, Astro or Remix. If you pick Astro, let's call it mo-ni. Just for you. It's going to create a new mo.ni, cd mo-ni. Let's open that in VS Code. Go full screen again. I trust, yes. So look at this. npm install. I'm installing the packages. And while it's installing, if we look what we've got, we have an Astro website with MarkDoc, exactly like you asked, basically. And there's content, there's one post created in MarkDoc. There's the Astro content collection. The Keystatic config file uses the document field, which is the stable version of what we've looked at today with the MDX experimental. It's all set up with an image field, blah, blah, blah. It takes forever to load on my computer, but it's sometimes much faster. But basically, you install that command and you will be up and running with exactly what you wanted. An Astro site, npm run dev. It should open on point 22 because 21 is taken. So look at this. I have my Astro website with the first post. It's a MarkDoc file. I can edit it in the admin UI. Here it is. Hello, Mo. What's up? Save that. Yeah. Go back to the front end. Visit our new updated post that says, hello, Mo, what's up? And if I look at the code, I don't want to update this now. If I go to the code and we look here, you can see the MarkDoc file has been updated. How cool is this? Save. Update it on the front end. And oh, I thought I was gonna nail my live demo narrated Keystatic. It's also yeah, okay, nosedive. I could have clicked there, my god. I wanted to show you that it's updated everywhere. So that's exactly what you want. Boilerplate for MarkDoc, Astro, and content collections at all. Thank you, and thanks for your help when I was struggling in the image fields. See you in the next stream. That sounds good. Why Zod and not Veilbot? This now is completely irrelevant to Keystatic. Zod is actually Astro's decision. I think it's a great decision. But if you're referring to this, this is Astro's content collection config. This is literally nothing to do with Keystatic. This is a Astro part of the puzzle. That's how Astro. What? That's not Astro. This is how Astro does content collections. Blah blah blah. You organize it, defining collections. The src config is optional, so you don't have to use it, but absolutely recommended because you get all the TypeScript autocomplete, and you can see that this Zod stuff comes from here. There it is. So that's why Keystatic itself does not use Zod. And what was the other one? Veilbot. Valibot. I've never used Valibot. And one more question. So Moni is mentioning that it might replace Strappy. Strappy is a little bit more. Actually, ThinkMill has another product called Keystone.js, which is very much closer to Strappy in the sense that it has a GraphQL API and it's like a headless, proper CRUD operation app building thing. Keystatic is really the light version, little sibling, where you do read-only websites. Yeah, you can't have a user login and then edit an existing. Well, you can with the admin UI, but you can't have a front-end form where you send a mutation to update the database. It's literally reading and writing from file system, and you only do it from the admin UI. So think of content sites, blogs, marketing sites, documentation sites. This is incredible for that. It's very, 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 very capable, but it's not replacing a API with CRUD operations capabilities, which I think is what Strappy is. When you say Strappy instead of Keystatic, what I'm thinking of instantly is Keystone, which is it's the same people, same company that built it, ThinkMill. So there's a lot of shared DNA. But Keystatic, Keystone has a lot more under the oomph. It's like you can create proper full-blown applications and then mobile apps and stuff, and this is basically it's an application framework that happens to give you an admin UI as well for convenience. Where Keystatic is really the admin UI part that people love. It's just that. Keystatic is like, hey, we've got this crazy GraphQL, CRUD operations, all the mutation, filtering, all stuff. And then we give you an admin UI that happens to map all the form fields and all the different schemas into forms that you can edit. So look at this too. If you want to, if Westbus says that it's good, come on. But yeah. If you want a replacement for Strappy, you might need to look into this. Honestly, Keystatic is more a replacement for any CMS like WordPress or Sanity or Netlify CMS, or like think of content management rather than application admin UI stuff. I hope that helps. All right. That was the last question I can see. Any more questions, please tweet at me or join the Discord that I'm going to put on the screen here. We have a nice Discord where you can come say hello and ask questions or show off your pets, like I tend to do. Yeah. Whoa, how do I get out of here? Otherwise, keystatic.com is a great entry point. I mentioned before to Mo that an excellent learning place was the Keystatic playlist. If you go to resources in the docs here, it's all linked here. I should have thought of that. These are getting severely outdated, but if you want to see me struggle learning Keystatic through the years, through the months, it's a good series. Yeah, that last one here, mini course, that was done just before Christmas, and it's very relevant. More content, articles. If you want something you've built featured in this page, you can reach out to us too. And also we have a showcase if you want to see a website built with Keystatic. There's a bunch, and I need to update that because it hasn't been updated in a while. All right. On that note, thank you so much for watching, for joining, for asking questions. I want to make more and more streams. It's quite obvious that I'm not incredibly sharp with it. I might be friendly and engaging, but I want to be able to actually be productive, and when there's an issue, like fix it like if I was by myself. This being on stage and streaming takes away a lot of my ability to think. And so practice makes perfect. So this is what I'm doing. Shout out to ThinkMill that enables me to do that sort of content. I think it's a win-win. I make content, I create awareness about Keystatic, people use Keystatic, we get feedback, we build the whole thing in a great community. So yeah, I want to do more of this. I will probably do more of this. I'm looking forward to summer to end so I can stop being a sweaty mess and close the windows and all that stuff. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. And like Moni say, merci beaucoup et à bientôt. See you later. Bye.